My fiancée confessed she never wanted to marry me, just wanted the ring in front of 80 guests. Hi, I'm Ethan, 32, and last weekend I learned the woman I'd been planning to marry never actually wanted to. She just wanted the ring. It happened in front of 80 people, family, friends, coworkers, everyone who'd ever told us we looked perfect together. Turns out perfect was a costume. 6 months ago, I proposed to Jenna after 4 years of dating. She cried, said yes, and slipped on the ring she'd spent a year. Not so subtly. Hinting about 2 carats, platinum band, $15,000 I didn't have until I sold my car and took a second contract. I remember thinking, that sparkle means forever. Now it just means I'm an idiot with receipts. The engagement party was her idea. She wanted a moment people would remember. I didn't realize she meant for all the wrong reasons. The night started, fine laughter, champagne towers, her parents beaming like they just won the lottery. I kept thinking, this is the good kind of tired, the kind you earn. She looked stunning, confident, happy, or at least she played it well. By 10, the open bar had done its job. Jenna and her college friends were clustered near the counter, wine glasses sloshing as they showed off rings and dresses, all talking over each other in that pitch of loud female joy that's half compliment, half competition. Her maid of honor said, "That ring's gorgeous. How did you know he was the one?" Jenna laughed, that sloppy, oversharing kind of laugh you can't pull back once it starts. She raised her glass, then her left hand. "Honestly?" she said. I only said yes because the ring was beautiful. I mean, look at this thing. The world didn't end right away. First came a kind of collective inhale, a sound so small you almost miss it. Then silence. She grinned, thinking she was being witty. What? I never actually wanted to marry him. Still smiling, expecting laughter. Instead, she found 80 faces frozen mid-celebration. Something in me shut off, like a switch. My hand stopped shaking. My voice, when it came, didn't sound like mine. Thanks for the honesty. I reached for her hand, slid the ring off her finger before she could react. The metal felt warm from her skin, wrong in my palm. She blinked, half drunk, half panicked. Wait, babe, I was joking. Were you? I asked. The room was watching now, my parents, her parents, our friends holding their breaths like it was a live execution. Did that sound like a joke to anyone? No one answered. I pocketed the ring. You said the quiet part out loud, Jenna. Congratulations. You got your moment. Then I walked out while she called my name, half laughter, half desperation. I didn't stop. I could feel every eye following me to the door, the music cutting mid-beat, the silence swallowing everything. That was the last time I saw her sober. I drove home in silence. No music, no talking, just the sound of my own heartbeat trying to climb out of my throat. The ring sat on the passenger seat like evidence. Every few minutes the headlights caught it, flashing back at me like it was laughing. When I got home, I dropped it on the coffee table and just stared at it for an hour. Not angry, not sad, just hollow. Like I'd been robbed, but the thief left everything except my sense of reality. My phone started buzzing before midnight. Her text came in waves. I was drunk, I didn't mean it, please come back. Then, you're embarrassing me. That pivot from remorse to accusation was fast. Then her mother called. Then her sister. All demanding I return, fix it, smooth it over. Like humiliation had a Control-Z function. I didn't answer any of them. I turned my phone face down, poured a glass of water, and finally slept through the night for the first time in months. The next morning, pounding on my door. Jenna. Still in her party dress, mascara streaked, hair like she'd been electrocuted. We need to talk, she said. I opened the door halfway. About what? You said it all last night. She tried to wedge her foot in the frame. Please. I was drunk. You can't just end 4 years over one mistake. I looked her dead in the eye. It wasn't the drunk part that bothered me, Jenna. It was the honest part. She froze, eyes darting, calculating angles. That's not fair. People say stupid things when they're drunk. Yeah, I said. Or they say what they actually think without the filter. She started crying, the kind of crying that used to make me fold like wet paper. But not this time. She begged to come in, said she just wanted to talk. Against my better judgment, I let her. She sat on one end of the couch. I sat on the other like we were on opposite continents. She launched into a speech. Nervous about the party. Too much pressure. Everyone comparing rings. She just said something stupid to sound funny. The usual fog of excuses. I let her talk until she ran out of air. So, where's the part? I asked quietly. Where you actually want to marry me? She hesitated. That pause told me everything. I do, she said eventually. I'm just scared. Marriage is big. You weren't scared picking out a venue, I said. Or sending save the dates. Or registering for crystal stemware. She looked down. That's different. How? Silence. She reached for my hand. Can I at least have my ring back while we figure this out? No, I said. It's mine until we get married. Conditional gift. Look it up. Her face twisted. You're being petty. No, I said. I'm being done. She stood fast, mascara, tears, and fury all mixed together. Fine. Keep the damn ring. I'll buy my own. But this is on you. You gave up on us. She slammed the door so hard my neighbor's dog barked for 10 minutes. I just sat there, staring at the empty couch cushion where she'd been, feeling something close to peace and grief holding hands. Then my phone buzzed again, this time her dad. And that was when round 2 started. Her father's voice came through the line like static wrapped in authority. Son, my daughter is devastated. What you did was cruel. I pressed the phone to my ear, calm, polite, detached. What she said was crueler. He sighed. She was drunk. You humiliated her publicly. No, I said. She humiliated herself publicly. I just didn't pretend it didn't happen. You could have handled it privately. Why? I asked. So she could lie about it later? At least now there are witnesses. He took a long breath. You need to return that ring and apologize. Not happening. Then we have a problem. No, sir. Your daughter has a problem. Not mine anymore. He hung up. That afternoon, my brother Mark showed up with pizza and beer, like he always did when the world was on fire. We ate in silence for a while before he finally asked, Did you ever suspect? Sometimes, I said. She was always more excited about the wedding than the marriage. The venue, the photos, the menu. She never talked about what came after. I thought maybe she'd grow into it. He nodded slowly. You dodged a bullet. Expensive bullet. Better than a divorce, I said. We clinked bottles. The relief tasted sharp. Later that night, I got a message from her maid of honor, Megan. Hey. You should know she's planning to post online that you broke up with her for no reason and stole her ring. Just warning you. Thanks, I replied. Why tell me? Because what she said was messed up. I've heard her say similar things before when she drinks. Her friends always cover for her. I can't this time. That text hit like a cold wind. Jenna wasn't just spinning stories, she was rehearsing them. I called the venue coordinator first thing next morning. Hey, you were there. I'm not paying the remaining balance, just so you know. Oh honey, she said. I saw the whole thing. And the videographer got it all on camera. You might want a copy. Can I? I already sent it to your email, she said. You're gonna want to keep that safe. I opened the file that afternoon, 10 minutes of champagne clinks and laughter turning into ice. Her exact words crystal clear. The crowd's reaction. My voice steady, thanks for the honesty. Then me sliding the ring off. Her face, frozen between laughter and panic. Every detail was there. The perfect defense. By evening, my phone started lighting up again, notifications this time, not messages. Her post had gone live. A photo of her hand, ringless, captioned, He humiliated me in front of everyone and stole the ring. I never deserved that. Within an hour, her friends flooded the comments. What a monster. You're better off without him. Typical controlling man. My own name got tagged in a few. Some mutual friends DM'd me asking what really happened. I didn't respond. Not yet. I waited 3 hours, let her story climb, gather sympathy, reach its peak. Then I uploaded the video. No caption. Just truth. And in less than 5 minutes, the narrative flipped. It spread like wildfire. One repost turned into 10, 10 into hundreds. The comment section on her post went nuclear. People who'd called me abusive an hour earlier were now demanding she apologize. Screenshots of her confession bounced around every group chat we'd ever been in. By midnight, she deleted her post, but it was too late. The internet doesn't delete, it archives. My phone rang again. Her name flashed. I let it go to voicemail. Then came the text, How dare you post that? That was private. I replied once. Public party, 80 witnesses, a videographer. Not private. Her answer came fast. You're trying to ruin my life. You tried to ruin mine first. Next, her sister called. You're trash. She made one mistake and you destroyed her. She made 4 years of them, I said and hung up. Then her dad again. Take that video down or I'm calling my lawyer. Cool, I said. I'll wait for his call. The next morning, my lawyer, an old college friend named Aaron, was already sipping coffee in my kitchen, watching the clip. He laughed halfway through. She said this in public, man? That's not defamation. That's confession. You're clean. She's claiming I stole the ring. Good news, he said, setting his mug down. Engagement rings are conditional gifts. No marriage, no ring. Yours legally. What if she claims common law marriage? 4 years dating, separate addresses? Not even close. Don't give her anything in writing saying you'll reconsider. You're fine. But Jenna's family didn't back off. Her mom started calling my mom. That went about as well as lighting a match in a gas station. My mother is 5 feet of polite steel. Her mom. Your son humiliated my daughter. My mom. Your daughter humiliated herself. She was drunk. It was a joke. 80 people didn't laugh. He should apologize and return that ring. For what? Not marrying someone who admitted she didn't want him? By the time Mom hung up, she was practically glowing. Never liked that girl anyway, she said, stabbing her fork into a salad. She made you return the first ring, remember? I'd forgotten that. The first ring had been a $7,000 vintage piece, beautiful, unique. Jenna had cried when she saw it. Not happy tears. I can't post photos of this, she'd said. It looks old. She made me return it. That should have been my sign. 2 days later, Jenna's sister showed up at my office building. Security called me down. She stood there, red-faced and shaking. You need to make this right. She's depressed, not eating. This is your fault. Her fault, I said. For saying what she said. People make mistakes. People face consequences. She wants to talk. Work things out. I don't. 4 years means nothing to you? Apparently it meant nothing to her except a down payment on a better lifestyle. Her tone hardened. She can't afford to lose those deposits. Venue, caterer, photographer. You should at least pay half. What's fair? I said. Is her paying all of it? She ended the engagement. She didn't end it, you did, when you took the ring. She said she never wanted to marry me. I just listened. Security walked over. She backed off, muttering, "This isn't over." I looked at her and said, "Yeah, it is." But it wasn't. Not even close. Thursday night, my inbox pinged a Facebook message from a name I barely recognized, Jenna's high school best friend, Melissa. "Hey, sorry to bother you. You should know something. That never starts well." I opened it. "Jenna's been planning to upgrade her ring since you got engaged. She told us at her bachelorette that once you're married, she'd hint for a bigger stone. Her exact words. Once I have his last name, he'll do anything to make me happy." She attached screenshots from the group chat text from Jenna bragging about ring goals to 0. I just stared at them, jaw tight. For years, and the whole thing had been a long con with good lighting. I thanked Melissa, saved the screenshots to a folder labeled Evidence, and poured a double whiskey I didn't even like. Friday morning, I got a letter by certified mail, official looking, fancy envelope, gold return address from some local law firm I didn't know. Inside. 1. Return of the engagement ring within 10 days. 2. Payment of 50% of all wedding deposits, $12,000 total. 3. Written apology for public humiliation and defamation. 4. Removal of all online content, meaning the video. Failure to comply, it said, would result in legal action for intentional infliction of emotional distress. I called Aaron. He read it, laughed so hard he nearly choked. "This is hilarious. Who's her lawyer?" I told him the name. "Oh my God," he said. "That guy's a billboard attorney. He handles fender benders and cheap divorces. She found him between We Buy Ugly Houses ads." He drafted a response that same afternoon. 3 pages of professional brutality. The ring is legally mine under state law. Wedding deposits are her sole responsibility. Truth is an absolute defense to defamation. Further contact would result in counterclaims for harassment. He CC'd me on the email. It was Art. Her lawyer never responded. I thought maybe, finally, it was over. Then Sunday morning, my building manager called. Hey, we got an anonymous complaint about you. My stomach dropped. What kind of complaint? Caller claimed you were harassing a female resident and making threats. I actually laughed out loud. I live alone. Yeah, I figured it was nonsense, but I had to follow up. Caller mentioned domestic issues. Let me guess, female, late 20s, dramatic? He hesitated. Didn't say, but yeah, vibe fits. I sent him footage from my Ring camera, Jenna pounding on my door last week, sitting on my steps crying, texting me nonstop. He called back an hour later. Yeah, that's what I thought. Files closed. If she shows up again, call the cops. So, she tried to get me evicted. When that failed, she escalated online. Her friends started posting vague things like, abuse isn't always physical. And, some men can't handle strong women. No names, but everyone knew. A whisper campaign. Subtle, steady, poisonous. Comments started showing up under my old photos. Hope you're healing. Or, praying for both sides. That kind of passive-aggressive garbage. I didn't respond. I just took screenshots, timestamped them, sent them to Aaron. If this keeps up, he said, we'll have enough for a restraining order. I didn't know it yet, but the storm was still building. And the next strike was going to come with a badge. Wednesday night, around 10, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, then saw the prefix. Local police department. Hello, this is Detective Morrison, a calm voice said. We received a report from your ex-fiancée alleging stalking and threats. We just need to ask you a few questions. For a second, my mouth went dry. What incident exactly? She claims you've been following her car, sending messages, showing up at her apartment. I let out a short laugh. Detective, I haven't contacted her once since the engagement party. I have footage of her showing up at my place, though. Multiple times. You have footage? Yes. Ring camera. I can send you everything right now. Please do. I spent the next 10 minutes compiling every clip, every timestamp, every text. Send it all in one email with the subject line. Evidence, false report. Then I sat there, waiting for the other shoe to drop. An hour later, Morrison called back. Mr. Blake, we're not pursuing this. Her story doesn't match your evidence. In fact, your footage shows she's been initiating contact. We've advised her to stop. So, she's not being charged? Not this time. But we documented the false report. If she files again, we will. I thanked him and hung up, then just sat in the quiet for a long time, heart still hammering. She tried to get me evicted, now arrested. The pattern was clear. If she couldn't have control, she'd destroy whatever was left. Thursday morning, I called Aaron. Filed the restraining order. He didn't hesitate. Already drafting it. Good. By Friday afternoon, it was done. Sheriff delivered it to her personally. Temporary restraining order. No contact, 100 yards minimum. Hearing in 2 weeks. An hour later, my phone exploded. Her sister. A restraining order? Are you insane? Her mom. You're harassing her even more now. Her dad. You're destroying her life over nothing. I blocked all of them, one by one, until my phone was quiet again. That evening, Aaron called. You'll like this. Her attorney reached out, different tone now. What do they want? They're offering to drop all claims to the ring and wedding deposits if you drop the restraining order and delete the video. I laughed. No deal. You sure? That's a clean exit. She tried to get me fired, evicted, arrested. She doesn't get a clean exit. Aaron whistled softly. Then we hold the line. Exactly. I said. And for what it's worth, the ring's gone. He paused. Gone as in? Sold yesterday. Got $12,500 for it. Paid off my car, booked a Vegas trip with my brother. Aaron laughed. You might be my favorite client. That night, for the first time in months, I slept like a rock. No vibrating phone, no guilt, no second guessing. Just silence. Of course, peace never lasts long when someone like Jenna realizes she's lost control. The restraining order hearing came 2 weeks later. I wore the same navy suit I'd bought for our engagement photos, Irony's favorite outfit. Jenna showed up with her parents and a new lawyer. Better one this time. The courtroom smelled like old paper and nerves. She wouldn't look at me at first, but when she finally did, I saw it, the same mix of fury and disbelief that her charm had stopped working. Her lawyer started with a speech about miscommunication and emotional misunderstanding. The judge, an older woman with half-moon glasses, listened without blinking. Then Aaron stood, calm as stone, and laid it all out: the video, the messages, the eviction attempt, the false police report, the online smear campaign, the footage of her showing up at my apartment at 2 a.m. He spoke softly, methodically, like someone tightening screws. Her lawyer tried to object, said I was retaliating out of spite. The judge leaned forward. Counselor, your client filed a false police report, attempted to have the petitioner evicted through fabricated claims, and has been recorded at his residence multiple times after being told to leave. That's not miscommunication. That's harassment. Then she signed the order. Restraining order granted for 1 year. No contact in any form. Jenna started crying. Her mom stood up, shouting about injustice, about how her daughter was the real victim. The bailiff told her to sit down or leave. She left, still shouting. Her dad glared at me on the way out, like I'd committed some moral theft by refusing to be manipulated. In the hallway afterward, her new lawyer approached me. Off the record, he said quietly, my client is willing to sign a mutual non-disparagement agreement. You both move on. I stared at him. She tried to ruin my life. I don't owe her silence. You're making this harder than it needs to be. She made it hard, I said. I'm just finishing it. He didn't answer, just walked away shaking his head. The following weeks were quiet. Legally, she couldn't contact me, but that didn't stop her from trying through friends, cousins, fake accounts. Every time, I just forwarded the screenshots to Aaron. Good, he'd say. Keep the record clean. Through the grapevine, I started hearing the fallout. The wedding venue kept the deposit, $8,000 gone. The caterer charged a cancellation fee. The photographer refused refunds on edited proofs. Altogether, she and her parents were out around $16,000. Apparently, her dad was furious, her sister livid at having to cover part of it, and Jenna, well, she'd moved back home. Her job and marketing got messy too. Someone at her office had seen the video. It spread fast. Colleagues started whispering. The nickname Ring Girl stuck. She ended up on personal leave. I didn't celebrate, but I didn't lose sleep either. Meanwhile, I moved into a new apartment, bigger, quieter, no ghosts. Therapy twice a week. My therapist said what I already knew but needed to hear anyway. Boundaries aren't cruelty. They're self-respect. And somewhere between unpacking boxes and breathing easier, I realized the story wasn't about what she'd done. It was about what I finally stopped accepting. It's been 6 months. The ring's long gone, the noise has died, and the quiet finally feels like peace, not absence. I paid off my car, cleared my credit cards, took my brother to Vegas, and came back lighter than I've felt in years. Sometimes I still wake up expecting a new accusation, another text from an unknown number. Then I remember, restraining order, silence, freedom. It's real. Jenna's name doesn't come up much anymore, except when a friend whispers, "Hey, remember that engagement party thing?" I just nod. Her social circle shrank overnight. The ones who defended her first eventually saw the video, the lies, the pattern. She left her job, moved back in with her parents, started over. Maybe that's karma, maybe it's growth. Either way, it's not my story to fix anymore. Mine's simpler now. I work, I run, I cook for myself. I go to therapy. I talk to my mom every Sunday. I laugh with my brother about how I almost married someone who loved diamonds more than daylight. People tell me I humiliated her, that I should have waited until morning, handled it privately. But the truth came out in public, and truth doesn't owe anyone a curtain. She said she never wanted to marry me. That wasn't a slip, it was revelation. I just listened. Do I miss her? Sometimes. Or maybe I miss the version of her I invented, the one who smiled at the life we were supposed to build. But when that ache starts creeping in, I remember the look on her face when she realized she'd said the quiet part out loud, and the relief that followed when I finally stopped trying to make it work. I kept one photo from that night, not of her, but of me, standing near the door, suit jacket off, ring in my hand, eyes clear. It reminds me that sometimes losing someone isn't tragedy. Sometimes it's self-rescue. She wanted the ring. I wanted love. Turns out, only one of us was honest about what we valued. And the day she showed me who she really was, I finally gave myself permission to leave.